3-4-3 drafting form and saying, okay, that's fine, we'll give this to you. I'm a bit concerned about the Tusk because it's not something we see that much anymore. He's still very strong, I think, in my opinion, but
I think it was banned earlier today against Liquid when there was a Disruptor pick and a DK pick. You can drag people out of the Static Storm and the Kinetic Field. You can save people who get Dragon Tailed. Overall, it's underrated, I would say.
Yeah, and you heard the panel and what they were talking about. Fnatic's high ground defense is certainly potent if it gets to that stage of the game, but...
Uh-oh, Bulldog trying to drag the creeps around on top of both his treants are going to die.
Need one more right click to get the job done. It's so close. They just barely find it. So yeah, the creeps, they'll go back up. No creep wave pull coming out for Bulldog, sadly, so... Mid-1 is going to be aggro dual lane against, though, for the time being. Ake throwing up the
they're aggroing this lane. That's very bold. Disruptor is super weak in an offensive lane.
And you have Chilling Touch on top of that. They did just use it, though, so they were using it to kill the treants. They have to do that again now, and you can see just being annoying, being a nuisance, making sure DJ and 3-4-3 don't actually do anything.
They need to take off his clarity. It gets its own stuff anyways.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, he's back up to full mana thereabouts. So... yeah, this is, like you said, it's very interesting to see them do this aggro dual lane top with the Furion. It's not something they do super often. I don't know if they'll keep, I think it's Ake up here on this Disruptor.
They're not getting any XP, but there is a large wave coming in. Mid-1 did not do the best job of keeping that lane close to his tower. A lot of that was due to the Treant micro coming out from Bulldog, but sacking his Treants to the 2 supports.
And by the way, Mid-1 not having a really good series on Ember Spirit. 2 games earlier today against Liquid, and he died 10 times in that first game. It was just not great. He needs a confidence booster here. A win would certainly go a long way, or just a good performance in general. They'd feel pretty good about that. But for Alliance, this is obviously a very veteran team. And we've talked about Bulldog. We thought about, okay, well, do they need to ban out the Furion? Clearly, Fnatic don't agree with that decision. They have to deal with the Bulldog Furion up in that top lane for the time being. And so far, it's a pretty good start for Alliance, all things considered.
I wonder if Fnatic will have to worry about the Shadow Blade coming out from the Dragon Knight and Nice Prophet. If I'm not mistaken, this was the 2 heroes that caused Ember Spirit the most trouble.
Yes. In that game, yeah, exactly. It was actually in that first game was those exact 2 heroes. The Nature's Prophet would TP in after the Dragon Tail would come out from Fata, so Mid-1's like getting flashbacks. He's like, all right, listen, I'm not going to farm aggressively and not going to get caught out. He's hopefully reaffirming himself and just saying, let's just play a little bit more back or a bit smarter.
That's what the Tusk is for, though. They realized they needed to save, and that's not something that they had in their other game.
Yeah, 3-4-3 could do a lot, but I don't know if he could do everything, though. That's the problem. Because he does pick up a double damage rune.
Tusk can do everything.
All right, if you say so. He's got Sigil, he's got Snowball, Ice Shards. What else do you need?
Yeah. He has good vision, he has good scout, stuns.
Yep.
Anti-BKB.
Mid-1 is running at Ake. I'm not sure if this is the right play. Bulldog as well is there. But he does a lot of damage. He's going to push them back. The Thunderstrike is there. Glimpse is level 1, but it's just Ake wasn't quite in range. He's going to use it anyways, but they only get 2 more right clicks off the Glimpse back anyway, so not that much damage going through.
3-4-3 going in deep, looking for that courier kill.
It's 3 minutes now, and they've hasted it away. But the Ice Shards, they'll block S4 for the moment, but the damage isn't really there, and so this is only going to be kind of a nuisance. Like, okay, listen, you have a Tusk and a Medusa hitting your DK with level 2 Dragon's Blood. You're not killing that hero.
You see DJ drawing on the map. He definitely wants 3-4-3 to return. They know that Disruptor's the easy kill. Disruptor should not be able to push out in this lane this far. Admiral Bulldog is out of mana, and the pressure from the Treants.
I thought he was going to walk up from the river, but I guess he decided not to. They might have seen it from a ward or something, but yeah, they saw him walk up through the jungle with that other observer ward on the high ground, and so they just back up. Ake is like, I don't need to be here. I can look for the 4-minute rune. I can rotate elsewhere, and so he'll just get out of the lane. They'll give Bulldog a little bit more room, but he's going to get zoned out. Fnatic actually starting to look pretty good in the CS department. Obviously, DK is not going to win his lane, although Medusa's not that bad of a matchup. Mushi's going to get glimpsed back. He gets the rune anyways. He says, I will take that free trip back to the mid lane. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Very kind.
And another game where Medusa, or Mushi rather, places that ward right in that same spot. And here comes the push.
Already at this point. Snowball, they're not going to be able to catch Bulldog with this. Oh, they do just barely. They get that series chased off of the Ice Shards as well. More than enough damage with the Flame Guard coming through, and it's actually DJ getting the job done with his Cold Feet, I believe.
Tusk can do everything, Moss.
He can do everything. That was like a mile away. That was like the last half second of your Snowball actually connecting, which is kind of absurd.
Nice reaction speed from 3-4-3, and I think a nice call by DJ, making sure that Tusk is there to ensure that kill.
You start pinging him as like, please come back to top lane. We need to get this.
It was really important that he goes back because A can't really do that much. They don't have any kill potential with him.
Yeah.
Maybe Searing Chains into Cold Feet, but that's underwhelming.
How is this Ohio doing? 27 last hits, having about as good a time as expected for a
Yeah,
Dark
he was in the jungle. He just returned to lane.
What is he? I think he has almost a soul ring on him now with Boots of Speed as well. Should no boots yet. He has a soul ring and just a ring of regen. So
and Iron Talon. Don't forget about the Iron Talon.
Iron Talon important. It's a lot of net worth right there. Not to mention it helps UCS pretty effectively. Okay, so I mean, this is pretty good for Fnatic. Again, like I said, you're not going to win your mid matchup as a DK, but he's still CSing well. But he's not shutting down Mushi. You're not having as great a time with the Furon as you are with the Darkseer in that off lane. And 3-4-3, they've helped get a kill and almost a tower, at least put some pressure on that tower. Thunderstrike, glimpse back, there it is, and it looks like 3-4-3 might be in trouble. Snowball not there in time. And he's going to have to run all the way around. They even use the Ice Shards, unfortunately blocks Mushi out from helping his teammates, so he is on a long run. There's no Sprout. Dragon Tail should be there from S4. He's going to have to pop the Ultimate Dragon Form. He actually doesn't have mana to use the Dragon Tail, and 3-4-3 will end up falling. That did take a lot longer for them maybe than they were expecting. Even the Oracle rotated through with the Fortune's End, but he only uses it on Mushi at the end of the day.
Well, luckily for them, the Elder Dragon Form lasted a really long time. They should be able to get some nice damage onto that T1 tower in the meantime. Tusk probably could have snowballed to buy himself a little bit of extra time, especially when 3 heroes are over there. And S4 already getting those right clicks on mid tower, but Mushi not having any of it.
Mushi's just going to work. Should have yeah, he's gonna have Tequila flying out next. Maybe next set of loose phase or something like that.
Medusa's actually kind of a good solution to the Dragon Knight because Medusa doesn't really mind staying static in the lane.
Yeah.
And he's very good at anti-pushing or just spamming out the mid wave constantly. Like if you have Shadow Fiend, you'll run out of mana eventually. Also, you're very susceptible to gank. And you want to move into the neutrals a lot, but Medusa, you're perfectly content just sitting here constantly, and if DK sits there and gets hit by a Mystic Snake, he can't really do that much.
Mana's back, and then you have more chances to just use your Mystic Snake and spam it as much as possible.
But DK is really strong because he can take down that mid tower without that much effort, but against a Medusa, it's a whole other ball game. Well, Scan comes out on bottom.
Yeah, they notice the rotation. Well, they see that the Tusk is there now. They should know the Darkseer is still there. Meanwhile, top Mid-One is playing very dangerously. He does Remnant away, but Bulldog got a lot of pot shots off and did some serious damage to the Ember Spirit. Alright. Mushi continues to farm mid. He's doing very well.
Smoke from Ohio and 3-4-3 coming in behind Mushi. This is going to be a very tough kill onto S4 unless they hit the best ice shards I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy, and Aki's nearby as well to help out with a glimpse or kinetic.
But don't doubt Tusk, man.
Yeah, he's going to hit the ice shards, all right. He's going to hit the snowball, too. They drop the wall down. The Dragon Tail will do something, but not nearly enough to keep himself alive. In the surge from Ohio. Fortune's End will go, but by the time it gets there, he will be at his tier 1 tower because of surge.
That's a very unusual smoke. That's very hard for S4 to detect. You don't expect the Darkseer and a Tusk to come to the off lane, down the mid lane from the dire site.
Yeah, that was, I've seen strange smoke. Snoopy did something similar the other day, or yesterday, but that was definitely weird. And then on top of it, there was an Observer Ward there, the Raiden Observer Ward, but they didn't see the smoke coming out.
Yep, exactly.
That's huge, actually, that Fnatic were able to get that kill when you consider that ward being there and what else was going on, so. FaZe is going to be up for Mushi next. He has got a great start for Medusa mid.
Look at mid-1. He is ready for DK to TP back. But S4, being very patient, does not actually TP back.
He just walks back to the tower. He'll get a big creep wave as well. And then
this could be a T1 tower. They're not sure how many heroes are sitting behind there. Admiral Bulldog can be there, but he doesn't have that much mana.
Bulldog is just going to go home. 1,000 gold, he has Space Boots. Pretty good start. Dire scan, so they know that who's top, and they can get away with keeping that Ancient Apparition pushing in that lane. Yeah, they're just gonna send Bulldog up there, or rather, excuse me.
Wow, DJ's level 6, almost level 7. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's having a pretty good game. 3-4-3, that's a TP from Bulldog. That's awkward. They see each other. Sprout comes out 3-for-3. He's got a snowball. He probably has to use it here if he wants to stay alive, at least for a little bit longer. Good for Sigil. The glimpse will come back out. He dodged it with a snowball, but it's only going to leave him a moment of time here. He comes out of the snowball. 1 or 2 more right clicks, but here comes the rest of the squad. Mid1 jumping in, he's got the flame guard, they get off the damage, and there's gonna be Ice Blast at the top. They don't hit the initial hit. Mid1 actually taking a lot of damage. He's about to go down the dark pack still. Mid1 will find himself a double kill with the flame guard on top of that Ice Blast, and now looking for Loda. Loda's low, the last right click, it's a triple kill for Mid1. All of that damage, and all of a sudden, he's up to 2.7k gold, almost getting this tower on top of it. Somehow surviving through all of that damage, and with the help of the Ice Blast, they set it up for him to get a full triple kill.
How dare you doubt Tusk as a support? Did you see what he did there? He bought so much time for them to come in, and that sigil just enabled Mid1 to clean up.
I want to make it clear, I didn't doubt Tusk.
It sounded like it. Tusk heard it.
I just stated simply that I have not seen a lot of Tusk. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe someone will go back and on-shot it or live cap it. And
I think you just called him the worst support ever. That's what I think.
All right, you know what, Ben? Listen, we're done.
Anyways, Tusk, he did so much work. Yeah, that is crazy. And I was like, Mid1, he was spending a lot of time running around. They gave the lane to DJ. He's going to have his bots at a late time. Nope, not with that triple kill.
Yes, bots right now, and he's looking for more. S4 gets the Dragon Tail, but here's the snowball and wall, and S4 is just... He's completely zoned out from the rest of the team. The Ice Shards were there perfectly again. He is not the worst support in the world. In fact, he seems to be doing very well. And 343 continues to style upon Alliance and whoever he plays against. I mean, he had the one bad game on Phoenix, and since then, he's done very well so far.
They need to give Tusk a taunt.
He already swagged enough as it is. I don't think he needs to swag anymore.
Yeah, this is with a Zusa that's passively farming. The analyst mentioned that Dire had better scaling, and they're winning the early game quite handily, playing that upbeat tempo with the Ember Spirit and the Ion Shell. And Oracle has not really been close by. Oh, Bulldog keeping in on DJ.
And DJ might actually be in trouble. TP out, he's fine. No way to stop that. Nature's Wrath, he just throws it out randomly, maybe to do some damage. And
they were worried about not enough setup for the AA ulti, but the Ice Shards and Snowball in a punch is very, very good at ensuring that
he's almost level 6 too for the Tusk, which is huge. Walrus Punch, I think, is really important as well. Yeah, you're right about the Oracle. He hasn't had that impact. It's not like that he's not even been there, but it's just he hasn't really done much this entire game in general. The Oracle is sitting okay in net worth, but he hasn't gotten any kills or assists, not that I know of anyway.
Well, level 6 up on Aki. Maybe he can turn things around with a big static storm.
And they need it. Their smoke is going to come out, though. Instead of turning things around, looks like he's going to be one caught out. Good kinetic field, but it's not going to save his life as he gets steering chained up and then cold feeded on top of that with the flame guard. And Iron Shell, as we have talked about previously on the Ember Spirit, it's certainly not a lot of damage that the Disruptor can take.
In theory, the Oracle Purge is very good at taking that off, but that's if the Ember Spirit is not elusive. Theoretically, he could dodge it with Sleight of Fist. He can just use Remnant to be invulnerable, so he can't even get targeted a lot of time. Another nice initiation.
Ice shards, ice everywhere, but here comes the fire. The Ember Spirit, Mid1 jumping in. They get off the Purifying Flames. Walls there, but no vacuum to combo up, and S4. Good false promise, but he's going to try to TP out. Steering Chase will cancel that, and S4 is just like, I am dead again. I think that is his 4th death of the game. I might be wrong about that. They literally beat on him until the Purifying Flames, or rather the false promise was gone.
Yeah, and any signs of Mid1 being dubious on the Ember Spirit,
gone.
They're definitely gone. He was very patient with the Searing Chains there, knowing that the only way out was a TP. They did take off his shield.
So this is I don't want to call it awful, but this start is just not great for Alliance. I mean, where do you go?
I think it's
here?
in the realm of awful.
Okay, all right. I don't want to have to say it, but you're gonna. I mean, that's fine, but where do you go from here as Alliance? I mean, you don't have the Shadow Blade yet on Slark. Meanwhile, the other 2 cores for
you don't lose control of your jungle, so you can farm. That is probably the most important thing. Nature's Prophet eats up a ton of space and a ton of camps, and Ake trying to protect his jungle. Mid1 dodges!
The Sleight of Fist dodge.
Yeah.
He is not dubious, you are correct. He is now styling along with, of course, the rest of the squad, including 343.
That was some crazy good timing from Mid1. Some people think Disruptor's a counter versus Mid1, or versus Ember Spirit rather, because of the Static Storm, but there is potential for outplay, as we just saw.
And now there's going to be the Snowball coming through to save himself. They even get the Ice Blast on a couple of other heroes. The Fortune's End will go, albeit a bit late. Now EGM getting focused down, but Mid1 is now forced to not attack as he's been base edict. However, he still will get chased down. The Mystic Snake and Flame Guard.
Look how useless the Oracle seems versus the Ember Spirit. He didn't even have Flame Guard up, but he still just...
He was like disarmed for 3 seconds too, and he still just got run down.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're down 10 kills to 1.
What's the net worth
7,500
grab
gold
looking
lead.
like?
7,500.
That's 14 minutes. That is not great.
Especially when there's a Dusa on the team. Well, yeah, they really wanted to save their jungle, but Fnatic were too quick to the punch, catching Aki as he was trying to set up good vision around that area.
Comes back. Do they really want to go for the static storm? Comes back into it. Yeah, but the ice blast on top of Aki. We could probably turn this too. Although there are a lot of heroes here now. But here comes the snowball. They get off the stone form as well. Loda has to pop the shadow and let vacuum wall. It's on the 3, and Aki's in trouble. Walrus punch. Good breathe fire, but the mech is up and ready to go. The false promise will come onto Loda. He gets off the shadow dance as well, but S4 will not be so lucky. Here comes Mid1. Steering change. He gets it onto 2. A double kill for Mid1. 4 dead, and Alliance are getting run over by Fnatic in game number 3.
I don't ever think I've seen a DK die this quickly every single time.
It's certainly not good, and boy, are they not done yet. If they just had detection under that tier 2 tower, Loda would be the next to fall. He'd be the 5th and final kill in that engagement. What is happening, Ben?
Mid1's styling on Alliance. That's what's happening.
He really is. It's a complete team effort, too. Like, it's not just him, it's that they're coming together as a team as a whole. They're finding... You talked about that upbeat tempo. They hit that timing perfectly, and Mid1 was there when they needed to get those kills, and everybody is just finding their footing for Fnatic right now.
A lot of it was due to that triple kill, because it could have been the case that Ember Spirit rotates around and then dies when he has 1,000 gold. After that, he has like 800 gold, and AA is level 6, but he doesn't really have anyone going around to set up kills. Because of that triple kill, he got that 1,000 gold that he needed for BOT, and then everything was okay after that. But that one triple kill just ruined Alliance's early game. Usually it's like ruined anyway, just because they draft like that, but it shouldn't have been this poor.
Alliance are devastatingly close to a lower bracket finish, or at least a lower bracket start.
They have NP. Don't count Bulldog out. 12,000 gold lead is difficult to come back from, and they're trying to go on the Mushi.
Start would be a Mushi right now, but TPs are coming in. S4 has to just walk up and Dragon Tail with no Elder Dragon Form, and here comes Mid1. Does he have a double damage rune? No, he does not. He's still going to work. Now Admiral Bulldog. Sprout's going to come through. The TP's going to come out. Sleight of Fist comes in. The false promise, making sure he stays alive, and he will make it out in time. They're still hunting. They're looking for S4. Sleight of Fist Searing Chain should be back up and ready to go, but they won't go any further. Now they get the surge up, and now he will find it, but S4 turns with the Dragon Tail and says, just stay right there. Let me right-click it. Bulldog has TP back in, and now Mid1's not in the best position. The Stone Gates come through. They get off the mech. The Kinetic Field Static Storm is there, but he gets glimpsed back in. Back wall into 3 again. Ohio finds another great initiation. Bulldog still alive with the Fates hitting. Loda wants this kill on a Mid1. He'll even pop the channel dance for it, but it's too late already. They're getting turned on. There's just too much damage, too much sustain. Loda will fall. S4 will be next. Mushi finally getting involved. Whips the flick out. Remnant 4. Mid1 wants more blood. He'll find EGM, and he goes to work. 4 dead again for Alliance all day. Dead in the dirt. Fnatic running over them once more.
Oh, just when you think they're about to kill, bam, Stone Gaze, sick vacuum wall coming out from Ohio, and it's been a really long day for Alliance.
Oh, God, especially at the start of this game. It is certainly feeling a bit longer. The game is not over. There are still Raxus standing, and they have good heroes for the late game, albeit against an Ember Spirit and Medusa. It is not easy.
Yeah, but they've been demoralized, beaten, bruised, you name it. They've suffered it.
Yeah, that seems that accurate. 18 minutes in this game, they have 1 kill, 18 for Fnatic. We've seen some slacking so far in this tournament, but Fnatic are right now doing pretty damn well in that department. They're even going to go further forward more, and they're going to find S4. He gets off the Fates Edict, though. A couple of right clicks going to work, but he'll stay alive. They don't want to go any further. Loda is Shadowblade up. They really want to find just any kill. Anything would be great. Nature's Wrath does a bit of damage to 343. They jump in with the Shadowblade. The right click, they get the pound start pack, and the ice shards just protecting 343 again. Bulldog has to TP, and the Sprout will come through. Can they even get this kill? The snowball buying time again. 343 will get out. Now Mushi is going to be the one that takes the target and the aggro away from his from his comrade, and he actually makes it out in time. He gets the urn up, and it survives just fine on that freaking stupid elusive Tusk in this game.
What did Fnatic do during that break?
I don't know. They hit their Wheaties. Ice Shard, that will connect with the Snowball. Well, they have Static Storm right on top of it, and actually 243 can't get the kill. Good false promise, and that will stop them for the time being. Fnatic trying to run over more, but oh, here we go. See ya. Good jumps in. Ake is actually still alive to glimpse back, but there's the Mystic Snake. Mushi walks right into the high ground. Mid1 just comes flying through from the right side of your screen and finds another great initiation, but really it was Mushi to finish off the kill. And here is the Battle Fury now done, coming out for Mid1. On top of the fact they already have the Lincoln Spear for Mushi, they have the mech up for the Darkseer, now with the Hood of Defiance on top of it. It's just, they have every item they need to push up the high ground. At 19 minutes in with a Dota and an Ember Spear, Ben.
This is some peak performance coming out from Fnatic. I've not seen them play this crisp Dota in a very long time.
No, they are looking good. They are looking solid. And they look like they want this tier tower. They look like they want the upper bracket too. Sleight of Fist. Mid1 was locked in with the Sprout, but will get out in time as the Fortune's End comes a bit too late. The glimpse back coming through. He's going to be able to dodge it with the Remnant. Again, Mid1 knowing that glimpse timing perfectly. He says, no, Sleight of Fist not this time. I think I'll just use the Remnant instead. And they're just going to keep going. They have the Iron Shell up with Mid1. They have the Sleight of Fist with the Battle Fury. They can clear out the creep wave easily, and they're just pushing.
Bulldog has kind of geared towards the late game with his Midas and eventually building a Scepter, but I don't think it's going to get that far.
Yeah, it might not get to that point in the game. I do like Fnatic backing here. They did a lot of chip damage to the tower. It's not going to regen up. There's no, Treant Protector in this game.
Ooh, and finally, Alliance get a breather.
They need. Well, I will say this: if they do come back from this deficit, it'll be one of the best comebacks you'll ever see in Dota. And I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see Alliance just have an amazing second half to this game.
There's just
so hard though.
So many odds to deal with. Darkseer, many defensive items coming out, pipe and mech. They already had a lack of damage before DK with no items, no pieces of armlet. He does have the full pipe. Well, some of it's on chicken. Maybe a headdress coming out? No headdress. But he has that mech and pipe almost completed. Dragonite, look at his items. Tread Bottle Wand. Generally have armlet and then some at this point. Sark has Shadow Blade, but he's forced to turn tail and run because of the output of damage that Fnatic has, and Nature's Prophet just has a little bit of attack speed coming up from that Midas. And who is going to get these heroes even with to like half HP? Maybe if they could jump the AA, but even he's thinking.
I don't know what you can do in this game for Alliance. For Fnatic, yeah, I mean you pretty much have to, but while that's happening, you're losing Roshan, you're losing more, advantage of the map, you're losing obviously the Aegis and the Ember Spirit.
They have to wait for the Ember Spirit to push out and then catch them with a Static Storm. That's their best chance of kill right now, or DK stun, which it looks like they're aiming for right now.
This might be the best opportunity for them.
He doesn't have a
lot of gold if they get the kill, but guess what? He has an Aegis, so. Loda's gonna walk up, he's Shadow Bladed, and they know that there's no sentries here. Sleight of Fist comes down. He actually avoids the gank because he Sleight of Fist at the perfect time, then Remnant's down toward the enemy jungle. Alright.
He knows that's their only play to try and kill him when these split pushing and split push with Nature's Prophet or their other cores to force Fnatic from barreling down that mid lane.
Well, I think they're not gonna be able to stop this at this point. Fnatic are going straight down that mid lane as you just mentioned. And they're trying to split push. Alliance are like, listen, we need to get something. We need to get the tier 2 top. But that's going to be a trade that is not really that great. As Mushi's going and getting the pot shots on that tier 3 tower. Lincoln Spear is broken. EGM, I think you've walked a bit too far. He even has to use the false promise on himself just to make sure he survives. And I'm not sure he'll make it through. The Ice Blast is going to sail through. Aki will dodge it, but still it will be EGM going down. The false promise not even saving his life. His ultimate doing nothing to actually help him. DJ will get jumped down. This is what you were talking about, bringing down his core, but there's going to the back. No walking out. Good ultimate from the disruptor to make sure that a Darkseer wall can get put down, but S4 still getting corralled up, and there's 3 heroes in the vicinity. They get off the steering chain. They will bring him down for 40 seconds. That might be it, honestly, at least with this full set of racks going down in this mid lane. They might back up to defend top, and it looks like they will do so. But Alliance are going to lose 1 full set of racks at 23 minutes in against an Ember Spirit. Not only that, but they're going to lose Ake on top of it as well. The courier will go down. It is Dire's courier that is going to fall, so they will get a little bit of a brief respite, but it is not going to be enough.
They can't even kill the AA.
Oh, they stopped the TP coming out from the Furion, but it'll just use his teleportation with W. I thought there were more heroes back up top lane for Fnatic to actually get that kill, but they were all still mid. They didn't TP out at that point. All right.
That was a sick Stone Gaze coming out from the Medusa. He like walked into the back line, so if you retreat, you get Stone Gaze. If you stay there, you're just gonna die to the Ember Spirit. So very well placed by Mushi. He has played this hero a lot, far more than I could think of for any other professional player. Who else picks Medusa?
I don't know who does.
Not as often as Fnatic, if you even give me a name.
No, definitely not. I mean, I'm trying to think of anybody like an NA. Maybe TC occasionally. Nah,
Oh yeah, they do pick it.
I mean, like, but that's like the only person that I think of, and it's like you said, clearly not as much as Mushi. It's working for him. It seems to be doing the job. Although I do have to put the majority of this game on Midway. I don't know if you would agree. Or maybe
the Tusk.
Yeah, I think the Tusk 2 is probably a pretty good choice. S4 is going to get caught. Bots in from mid one, Siri chains Flame Guard, the Ice Blast on top of that. He should probably die. Remnant actually misses Sleight of Fist, but he gets the kill with it at the tail end with the Sleight of Fist. Mid one has Remnant out if need be. Not to mention that Aegis is still up, so Loda can't find that kill. And while this is all happening, they're grouping bottom. And they're going to be able to bot in a couple of seconds at this point. There is an Aghanim Scepter on an A with a level 2 ulti. If you get hit by that, you're probably just dead with these supports, or anybody for that matter.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, Dragon Knight already felt the wrath of that.
Yeah, he was not feeling. They didn't even need to have mid one up there. Probably, he just needed to get 1 or 2 right clicks or a flame guard tick or 2 off, and that was more than enough. Fnatic are pushing up. I'm not going to go too quickly.
Well, Fnatic with this win, they will secure a berth in the upper brackets.
They're on the doorstep, literally. There's the TP coming in from the Ember Spirit. They back up like, who is that? Oh, their teammate mid one. He's in the base already. He jumps in. Ake's about to fall. He will go down almost instantly. The Ice Blast will sail through and he'll hit on the EGM. Baits Edict just to make sure he doesn't take the damage. He'll try to Purifying Flames. He is going to shatter as soon as that is done. No, don't false promise just to make sure he stays alive a bit longer.
AA will last way too much.
He will survive a bit longer, but not by much. And S4 walks up, dies. Ohio finds himself an Iron Shell. Mushi goes in and gets the right click off. They buy back on the NT. They've lost just about everyone. They even TP'd back Fnatic a couple of heroes just to make sure they could secure their base and keep it alive. Loda going toe-to-toe with Mushi. Dark Pack comes out. Mushi is winning this man fight. They have to use the Shadow Dance. Bulldog getting pushed back. I mean, Mushi only still has a Lincoln Sphere, but it's just not enough damage for Loda at this point. The Ice Blast will go in again, fly through into the base. It'll hit up onto Bulldog.
The punishment
and onto Loda as well.
Never ends.
And they just lose the racks. It's just, there is 1 kill for Alliance. 1 freaking kill. They can only get 1 pickup in this game. Who was that kill on, Ben?
Tusk.
Can you tell me? It was the Tusk. So he didn't style enough, I don't think.
Yeah, blame him for all of Fnatic's woes. If there are any.
God, that was, they have had a sick game. This is, I would almost say near perfect for Fnatic so far. That could change very quickly, but oh no, the tier 1 tower. Mid one wants to make sure he cleans this up. Bulldog still having a good time. Gets the taunt off before leaving. And there it is. GG. A bit anticlimactic to end our last game of the evening, our last game of the group stages, but still, Fnatic had, like I said, one of the best games of Dota I've seen, one of the most perfect games of Dota I've seen in a while.
And they're all smiles. I would be too. And that sets the main stage. We have our 8 teams.
Yes, the upper bracket and the lower bracket now set and ready to go. All 16 teams seeded. Alliance would have liked to be up there in the upper bracket, but they just unfortunately did not make it through with that last game. Just a stellar performance though from Fnatic, not to take anything away from them, but some really good performances from all of the teams.